Доброго времени суток, ребят! Вы на канале WW Let's Play, с вами Вячеслав, и мы продолжаем с вами играть в Vampyr. В прошлой части мы начали заниматься расследованием шантажа, что нас, возможно, привело к... Ну, это еще не точно, к Дороти, к самой такой центровой медсестре. И вот, походу, мы тут разобрались с... Болотное чудище, по-моему, или помойное чудище, как-то так он назывался. Ну, короче, зарешала вот эта вот дубинка. Ошипованная обычная палица. У нее, так скажем, встроенное оглушение, и это, блядь, вообще, это решает. На самом деле, просто идешь, бьешь, и все хорошо.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Так, это что, нам наружу выйти, нет? Спасение горожан. Горожанин, которому грозит опасность, может не дожить до следующей ночи. Навестите его. Ага, вон вижу. Серьезно? Давайте так хотя бы, что? Надо восстанавливаться. Привет. Ты кто? Как тебя звать?
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
Все, попрощаться. Давай, пока. Вы спасли горожанина. Следующей ночью он вернется в свой район. Хорошо. Теперь отойди, пожалуйста. У меня тут сундучок. Господи, эти скали, блять, орать будут сейчас. Так, это мы выходим, да? Тут еще что-нибудь было. Я же чувствую, что-то можно тут подобрать. Так, мы отсюда пришли. Да, все, пойдем. Добираться. Да вот теперь, блядь. Все, поехали дальше. Что тут у нас еще есть? Что где подобрать? Давайте по карте сориентируемся, что нам куда бежать. Через мост, в обход, тудым-сюдым, туда-сюда. Скаль. Был. Блин, забавная тупинка вообще. Мне прям нравится. Люди тут есть какие-нибудь? Еще я почитал, что в этой игре нету fast travel, так сказать, так называемого, то есть быстрого перемещения. То есть вот весь город мы в основном будем вот так вот бегать. Вот так вот, так, оп, периодически. Да, вот он мост. Там так вот по вампирскому может что-нибудь найти можно будет. Стрит. Это что такое? Комендантский час, официальное уведомление. Колокольный звон в 9 будет извещать о наступлении комендантского часа. После этого времени запрещается выходить на улицу до 5 утра. Вплоть до дальнейших распоряжений действуют следующие указания. Соблюдать час этот, носите маску, сообщите властям, если заболеет кто-либо из родственников. Уровня. Так. Давай попробуем. Сильный, да? Не нравится тебе, короче. Ах ты, блин, нихера себе! Записка мокрых ботинок. Относительно вербовки парней в Ватчепеле. Кажется, одного я нашел. Это Альби. Он тупой, как табурет, но крепкий. Собственно, как и все бандюганы. Без обид, если кто-то меня смотрит из бандюганов. Я попросил его раздобыть лекарства для продажи на черном рынке, и он быстро их доставил. При следующей встрече я скажу ему, что его приняли в мокрые ботинки, и теперь он должен получать приказы у своих новых боссов. Так, и где-то мы тут персонажей видели. Где, блядь, люди? Во. Что-нибудь можно подобрать у тебя? Так. Нам по-хорошему бы левее уйти, идти по большому кварталу. Этот, да, да, этот квартал. Як? А тут что, ничего нету? Просто типа дверь и все? Ну чё, суки? Все? Где-то еще один валялся. Есть что подобрать, нет? Только кровь вижу и все. Ты нужен королю, это мы видели. Это у нас будет, я так понимаю, убежище. Интересное убежище, без окон, без дверей. У вас достаточно ингредиентов для создания лекарства или сыворотки. Это мы знаем. Есть что разобрать. Ржавая банка таблеток. Просто банка таблеток. Палицу мы можем. Урон, когда оружие наносит урон. Или часть обычной рукояти нам надо, да? В принципе, я бы тут больше вообще ничего не улучшал. Просто бы вот это бы всех пиздил бы и все. Но можно... Нет, нельзя. Старый револьвер. Ладно, пока сделаем вот это и сделаем вот это. Отлично. По лекарствам. Бронхит, анемия, сепсис, пневмония. Я не знаю, что надо делать, если честно. Тут их много. Пока ничего не будем, наверное. О, еще один сундучок. А, мы опять не туда, да, вышли? Нам обратно надо. Вот поэтому дальше идти, да, поэтому дальше идем. И... Оп, все. Блин. Инфлюенса часто сопровождается пневмонией, чтобы предотвратить распространение пневмонии.
Safe here for a gentleman.
Серьезно, нам сюда?
Step away, sir. Die, vermin! It's locked, all right.
It's one of them! Oh my god!
Еще идет.
Let's pin him down.
Ебать. Шерстяная, или как тебя там звали? Ну,
Whitechapel.
так.
This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Убежище. Ну, как раз сейчас будем уходить. Что-то есть.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert! Stop it!
Ебать. Там же убили кого-то. О, я что-то не туда свернул. Да, мне надо сюда. Где это убежище-то? Человек. Где-то здесь. Но это, наверное, не убежище все-таки. Это что-то другое. Там красные были двери у убежища. Блять, где мы? Ебать, тут кровище. Что такое-то? Опа, это убежище все-таки? А чё крови-то столько? Так, это... А, вот выход, ясно. Тут у нас что-то есть, тут у нас... Выйти, выйти. Ага, сики. Что-нибудь улучшим? Что-то же разобрать можно. Так, так, так. Улучшили часть обычной рукояти, да? Но у нас ее нету. Мачете улучшенные уже. Коса нам нахрен не нужна. Тут тоже все улучшено. Но улучшаем револьвер тогда. Наносимый урон увеличивается и время перезарядки. Ой. В принципе, нам надо что-то одноручное, чтобы, короче, стрелять. Ага. Средства автономии, в принципе, можно сделать даже... Средства от простуды несколько штук. Средства от бронхита. Так. Надо что-то одноручное нам, короче, улучшить, потому что пила... Скорость атаки 15, выносливость... Так. Инвентарь. Давай вот сюда. Мы сюда тебе пистоль оденем. Да, потому что, ребята, если вдруг... Если вдруг нас будут... пиздить. Ребята, которые как бы боятся выстрелов, то тут выходит револьвер и говорит, как делать нельзя. Ну, это бита, конечно, шипованная, это, блядь, не знаю. Лучше пока я что-то ничего не нашел. Оглушение решает. На самом деле. О, блядь, так. Что-то не хочется прыгать-то. Налево-направо. Ясно. Оп. Нам крысы нужны. О, еще один. Не надо кровь. По-хорошему-то. Тоже кровь. Куча крови. Ага. Вот он, наверное. Ну, пойдем, поболтаем. Серьезно, мы постучимся?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Во. Бронхит у бедолаги.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Главный помощник Дороти. Кто такой, хуй его знает, но у него бронхит. И надо бы
I
ему
must talk
помочь.
to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius.
Просто
By the
хоть в дом.
church they just mentioned.
Так, кого встретим, сразу общаемся. Ох, ебать.
Please, I don't have your money. Come on, Baron, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Ну-ка. Ладно.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Скали, значит, ясно.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Вот он, Джо Петерсон. И тут что? На грани банкротства из-за Джо. Ясно.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Ну, это хорошо, что она так делает на самом деле.
Right then. Show me what you
Чё
have.
есть? Купить. Давай еще одну купим. Хуй узнает, что нам еще тут надо. Продать чего-нибудь. Хер я тебе что продам?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
According to you,
По очереди
physicians
начнем.
are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Хорош, хорош.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle, for their dirty work.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Агасики. Мне когда были близкие друганы. Да, это все общее.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Ну,
Goodbye,
понятно.
Mr. Peterson.
Что, еще есть какие-нибудь? О, девушка.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Ой, я се.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I'm sure you could have found another job, perhaps less lucrative. Maybe you should try again.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Нет, извини. Жизнь о здоровье.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors, or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Проститутка, блядь. Ага, ясно.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Ага. Клейтон Дарби и вся такая шушера. Идите к Клейтону. Ты кто?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Чё сказал?
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Дебил, блядь.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Очистить город огнем. Чё так?
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Science and progress are our only hope against the monstrosity hidden behind this epidemic.
See, Doctor? Now you acknowledge the presence of evil within the city's walls. Now you start to admit.
Цепляешься за слова, ублюдок. Давай
Do you know
продолжить.
Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Она вела подпольную борьбу на родине, ясно?
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Ясно. Короче, ты прям жесткий
I
фанатик
have
вот
had enough
этого
for
всего.
tonight. Goodbye.
О, подожди.
Good
Медосмотр.
evening, Mr.
It's far.
Don't you fear?
I've been touched by God's.
I have had an...
Я же тут, блядь, дурачок. Стой, подожди. Сейчас, где эта проститутка? У нее же какая-то болезнь, да? Переутомление. Ща я иду к тебе. Куришь?
Good evening, Chris.
Change your mind.
Do you need
Медосмотр.
any assistance?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Изи.
Goodbye, men.
Кто такой Клинтон, блядь, и где его искать, сука? Ты Клейтон.
Excuse me, sir. Are you
Da.
familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Ты как будто не из этого времени.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand.
We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Эх, все бы так журналюги думали.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Хочет, чтобы газеты публиковали правду о ситуации в Уайтчепеле при утомлении. Давай тогда вот так вот. Вот так вот.
What is a journalist?
He goes.
Да.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Ясно. Тут мы все прочитали, и теперь...
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Дурачок, блядь.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Стоп.
Good evening, Doctor.
Личный вопрос тут нет?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Miss.
Ричарда и найти ящика письмо. Люди где-нибудь есть? Люди. Ничего нету, ничего нету. Ага, есть какая-то девочка. Тайно распространять листовки амбулатории, ясно. Стой, сука.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Молчишь?
I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Немая, что ли?
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Идеальный диалог. Просто, блять, вот.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Найти почтовый ящик. У нас тут где-то может быть почтовый ящик. Так. Ясно. Надо вернуться. Где-то здесь он. Вот тут, да? Письмо Дариуса. Мои дорогие, горячо любимые дети. Мне жаль, что у вас не было вестей несколько месяцев от меня. В Лондоне сложная ситуация. Я знаю, что могу показаться эгоистом и дураком, ведь вы все же еще живете в стране, где идет война, но здесь, в Англии, тоже идет война. Война с бедностью и несправедливостью. Это война, в которой я намереваюсь участвовать, несмотря на свой преклонный возраст. Вот почему я пишу вам сегодня. В Румынию я не вернусь. Это означает, что, вероятно, я вас больше не увижу. Не грустите, мои милые, ведь вы уже взрослые, у вас свои дети. Вы знаете, на какие жертвы нужно идти, чтобы изменить мир. Вот жертву, которую должен принести я, чтобы снова почувствовать себя нужным. Желаю вам жить долго и счастливо, поцелуйте от меня моих внуков и помните, что отец любит вас, даже когда находится в этой холодной стране.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Так, ясненько, понятненько. Нам надо найти теперь этого, как его зовут-то? Ричарда. Никит, блядь.
It's locked.
С этой стороны никак. Пиздец, надо обходить, что ли, все? В церковь мы не войдем. Или войдем? Нет, не войдем. Вампиры же. Ладно, побежали по-быстренькому. Нет. О. Что у нас тут есть? Опа. Ух ты, блядь, неожиданно. Неожиданно еще двое подошло. Тут все, да? Портсигар. Так, а ты живой? Ричард Никер, кот, блядь. Ясно. На этого доктора Стрэнджа похож, кстати. Ты нормальный, нет?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Ну, по порядку.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Камелия стала музой, который считает ее загадочной. 5000 опыта можно с нее заиметь. Херасе. У него простуда, бронхит, хер знает что.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Ну, возможно.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Исчезла.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Дариус не хочет видеться, потому что считает себя обузой. Бывший румынский политический активист и главный помощник Дороти Крейн. Ага. У него бронхит. Так, назад.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Покеда.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Так, у нас простые сыворотки. Средства от бронхита, от простуды 2, от анемии 1. Ну ладно, хоть так. А я могу что-нибудь еще искать?
Hello again. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Идеально
Very
дело.
well.
Блять, вот с ней одно удовольствие болтать. Вот это вот, конечно, хрень меня убивает. Я не знаю, как ее убрать. Потом после этой части, наверное, почитаю, еще посмотрю.
Cheap price, good quality.
Бронхит. Еще разок попытаем счастье.
Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Да, сука. Есть что подобрать? Есть что пошиковать? 5 шиллингов у тебя пизданули, ладно. Оп, что-то еще, большая банка таблеток. Оп, оп, оп. Я знаю, ты болеешь, сейчас я к тебе подойду. Я тут все прошмонаю. Оп, древние в рыкалаке. Дружище.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Не-не-не, нам надо его вылечить, поторопился.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Все, давай, адьос, амиго. Где тут у нас? Оп. Тут мы, ладно, тут у нас что-нибудь есть. Ничего нигде нету, да, короче, ладно. Где у нас Доротея Крейн. Или как ее там. Опа, шиллинги лежат. Шиллинги это хорошо. Тут что? Хинин. Вот. Ебать вы кашляете. Тут что-то еще, да, было? Письмо сестры Крейн. Но, лень читать на самом деле. У нее есть сестра в Румынии. 4000 может за нее.
I need help.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Да ёбаный в рот.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
Ну, адреналин тоже не было. Я первое, что увидел, ткнул. Все, пиздец, потеряли. Хуёвый я врач.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners.
It's locked, all right.
To what do I owe this courtesy?
Подожди, сейчас я тут все прошмонаю, поболтаем. Оп.
Fitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reed. You shouldn't be here.
Где ты?
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Ну чё, все, да, получается, мы разобрались с этим всем дерьмом или нет? Где тут людишки? Бла-бла-бла. Переутомление. Блин, но бежать туда специально пешком, это ж жопа вообще. Это что такое сейчас было? Все? Все? А что вы тут делаете?
It's one of them!
Ух ты! Да ты что ты, ёб твою мать. Сука. То ли мелких мочить, то ли больших. Так, чё нам возвращаться надо? Ох, тут шагать-то ёбнешься, конечно. Ты кто?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Личные, чё по личным, ничего. А чё, чем
I'd like to
торгуешь?
see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Хрень какая-то. Ты чем-нибудь болеешь? Ничем не болеешь. Так. Блять, где тут идти-то? Вообще, да, не туда? Надо развернуться. Развернуться и обойти. Да, вот тут вот. Тики-тики-тики. И пойти сюда, правильно же? Правильно. Потом налево, правее, направо и через мастерскую. Так, налево. Правей. Направо. Ублюдков мы тут не встретим.
human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Yeah! Christ and leech, boy!
Да ебать, сколько вас тут? Сука, убили в самом конце. Педалурги, блядь. Что сильно много прям отовсюду повылазило. А мы можем обойти это место, чтобы не хлестаться? Ну, чисто так вот. Ради интереса спрашиваю. Оп, возродился. Нет, да? На этом пятаке они все время. Так, ребят, давайте, наверное, мы тут закончим серию, потому что хлёст может затянуться, а времени серии уже очень много. Поэтому, ребят, всем большое-большое спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте обязательно лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, подписывайтесь на группу ВК, пишите комментарии, ставьте пальцы вверх, пальцы вниз. Давайте будем общаться в группе, давайте будем общаться на канале, под видео. Всем большое спасибо, всем пока.